You want to take another bite? These 6 popular restaurants have secrets that could ruin your appetite for good. What they're serving isn't just food. It's a side of mystery, shortcuts, and things they hope you never find out. Before you finish your fries, you'll want to hear this. Let's kick things off with a fan favorite that's hiding way more than reheated meals. Drop 0 if you unknowingly went to these popular restaurants. Also subscribe if you want to save yourself time, money, and frustration the next time you eat out. Starting with number 1, Taco Bell. It's the king of crunch wraps, the college kid's midnight savior, and the late-night legend where everything seems affordable, cheesy, and just dangerous enough to taste amazing at 2 a.m. But behind the neon signs, wild menu names, and catchy jingles is a reality that might just make your stomach turn faster than a reheated burrito bomb. Let's start with the ingredients. And we're using that word generously. Multiple employees have reported things you do not want to hear about your food. Expired sour cream still being used, ground beef left unrefrigerated far too long, and cheese so crusted over in prep bins it could pass for nacho fossils. A viral video from a former cook showed how Taco Bell makes their beans. It starts with a bag of brown powder dumped into a tub of hot water. Stir until mush. Serve. These aren't slow-cooked pinto beans. They're rehydrated lab dust brought back to life like a science fair experiment gone wrong. One viewer nailed it when they said, "I thought I was eating fiber. Turns out it was bean-flavored cement." And then there's the beef. Taco Bell proudly states that their seasoned beef is 88% real beef. So, what's in the other 12%? A cocktail of fillers like oats, soy, anti-caking agents, and silicon dioxide. Yes, the same stuff used in sand and glass. You're not just eating tacos, you're biting into a chemical combo meal. Taste testers have described the meat as wet, gritty, and sometimes oddly sweet. And things don't get better during the late-night shift. With fewer staff and a rush of customers, food safety corners get cut. One former worker admitted that temperature checks were regularly skipped just to keep orders moving. That means some of the meat, cheese, or sour cream you're enjoying could have been sitting out for hours, and that's not a flavor enhancer. Now let's talk about the ice machines. Multiple undercover reviews found mold buildup, black slime, and even bugs inside soda fountains and ice bins. One health inspector flat out said, "The Taco Bell ice machine was dirtier than the bathroom sink." So the next time you sip that bright, citrusy Baja Blast, ask yourself what else might be swimming in it. Presentation doesn't help either. A customer once posted a photo of a taco so poorly filled and flattened, it looked like someone had already stepped on it and given up. The internet had a field day. One comment said it looked like the taco regretted being born. Another just said, "Bro, blink twice if you're okay." But here's the serious part. When food handling is this loose and quality is this inconsistent, it opens the door to real health risks. Moldy bins, temperature violations, reused prep tools. That's not just sloppy, that's dangerous. And yet Taco Bell continues to dominate the value menu world. Why? Because the flavors are engineered to be craveable, salty, creamy, crunchy, all in one bite. But you know what else is salty, creamy, and crunchy? A chemical-laced experiment wrapped in a Dorito shell. It might taste good in the moment, but it's the aftermath you should really be worried about. When food is that cheap, you have to wonder, what corners were cut to make it that way? So don't let the quirky names and clever ads fool you. The reality behind that cheesy roll-up could be a lot less appetizing than you think. The next time you roll up to the drive-thru, ask yourself, is the $1 burrito worth the risk of the $200 urgent care visit? Coming in at number 2 is a place that built its entire brand on comfort, tradition, and that warm, cozy feeling of family-style dining. Olive Garden. But once you peek behind the kitchen doors, the only thing Italian about this place might be the Tuscany-themed wallpaper. Because while the breadsticks are endless, so are the sanitation issues, shortcuts, and secrets that most guests never see. You might imagine chefs hand-tossing pasta and simmering sauce like Nonna used to. But the truth is, Olive Garden's kitchen runs more like a microwave assembly line than a rustic Italian trattoria. Former employees have admitted that the pasta you're twirling on your fork, it was boiled, bagged, frozen, and shipped long before it ever got near your plate. And that rich, creamy Alfredo sauce? Forget fresh ingredients. It arrives sealed in industrial plastic pouches, gets tossed in hot water, and is squeezed out like a science experiment gone wrong. One former staffer put it perfectly. You're not ordering a dinner. You're triggering a microwave meal with silverware. A customer once shared a video of their lasagna, and viewers couldn't believe what they saw. It jiggled like Jell-O, the cheese looked like melted plastic, and the sauce had turned into a thick, rubbery slab of tomato glue. It wasn't dinner. It was a tragedy with marinara. And that unlimited salad everyone raves about? The greens arrive pre-chopped in massive plastic bags and can sit out for hours before being served. One former prep worker said the olives were soaked in such strong preservatives, it made their fingers go numb after just one tray. So if your salad tastes a little strange, it might not be the vinaigrette. It might be a chemical cocktail with a lettuce leaf on top. Now let's talk cleanliness. Health department records from various Olive Garden locations have flagged a troubling pattern. Utensils left soaking in standing water, raw ingredients stored improperly, and in one disgusting case, a pasta bin with actual insect activity. That's not seasoning. That's a biohazard. And yes, there was the infamous fettuccine photo, a single black hair tangled in the noodles like it was woven into the recipe. The post went viral faster than Olive Garden's social team could type a PR apology. The caption simply begged, "Tell me this is seasoning." Staff have also complained about being forced to reuse the same towels for wiping down counters and drying dishes. One former dishwasher described the back-of-house cleanup process with just 3 words: hope and bleach fumes. But the problems go deeper. High turnover means many new hires are barely trained before they're thrown onto the line. So that shrimp scampi you're digging into? It might be prepped by someone who just learned how to clock in and has never properly washed their hands. And while Olive Garden loves to promote the image of authentic Italian recipes passed down through generations, insiders say most of the dishes come straight from a centralized corporate database. So when you order the famous tour of Italy, you're not being whisked away to Rome or Florence. You're being guided through a frozen food aisle with a pit stop at the reheating station. To make matters worse, the prices have gone up, but the quality hasn't followed. You're not paying for better ingredients or handcrafted meals. You're just paying more to sit under faux stone arches and watch your waiter juggle 6 microwaved plates at once. So the next time someone says they're in the mood for Italian and suggests Olive Garden, you might want to respond with, "Are you sure you're ready for that kind of disappointment?" Because while the breadsticks may be warm and endless, the truth behind the food is anything but comforting. If these tips are blowing your mind, smash that like button so more viewers can get to know the truth. Let's continue with number 3. Applebee's, the place where the microwaves are busier than the chefs. You might think you're getting a freshly made meal sizzling straight from the kitchen, but what you're really getting is a well-rehearsed illusion. Former cooks have revealed a shocking truth. Nearly 90% of the food at Applebee's arrives frozen, pre-cooked, and vacuum-sealed. That dramatic skillet of fajitas you see crackling at your table? It's not fresh. It's steam-staged, reheated meat, dressed up to look like it was cooked with care. One former manager confessed that the only things they reliably make from scratch are the eggs and baked potatoes. And even those sometimes show up half-prepped, sealed in plastic like something out of a convenience store cooler. And then there's the steak, if you can even call it that. A customer once shared a photo that went viral. A gray, floppy slab of meat shaped like a pancake that had completely given up on life. The internet didn't hold back. One person commented, "That thing looks like it lost the will to grill." Another wrote, "Is that a steak or a damp rug?" But this isn't just about how the food looks. There's a much bigger problem hiding behind the kitchen doors. Temperature logs from several Applebee's locations showed meats being stored above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not just careless. That's a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. Applebee's happy hour is famous for its cheap, colorful cocktails. But according to multiple bartenders, those eye-catching drinks are mixed with the lowest quality bottom-shelf alcohol they can legally serve. One former server even joked that the only thing on the actual top shelf was the cleaning spray. So next time you're sipping on that electric blue Long Island iced tea, ask yourself, is this really a drink? Or is it just flavored regret in a glass? Because at Applebee's, if the food doesn't disappoint you, the cocktails might just help you forget it ever happened. Now let's dive into a fast casual favorite that still has millions of people lining up every day without a second thought. Number 4. Chipotle. The name brings to mind fresh ingredients. Build your own bowls and bold flavors that feel healthier than your typical drive-thru. But behind that clean, modern image, there's a messy history, one that might make you think twice before adding extra guac. Because Chipotle isn't just known for burritos the size of your forearm. It also holds one of the worst track records for foodborne illness outbreaks in modern fast food history. We're talking norovirus, salmonella, E. coli. Chipotle has served up all three, not once, but multiple times across multiple states. At this point, their food safety history could fill an entire menu of regret. So what's going wrong are two things: rushed prep and risky sourcing. Chipotle prides itself on prepping everything fresh daily, which sounds great in theory. But in reality, it means undertrained employees are chopping, marinating, and cooking under strict time crunches with little margin for error, and when that lunch line stretches out, the door mistakes start happening fast. One former employee admitted they were once cutting raw chicken while still wearing gloves stained with guacamole from the last station. Another described rice that was left in warming trays so long, it formed a crunchy crust on top while the rest turned into a lukewarm paste. That's not a creative texture. That's a bacteria party waiting to RSVP. Let's talk about that famous guacamole. Yes, it's made fresh, but it's done in massive batches. So if one prep bowl isn't cleaned properly, or one set of hands skips a wash, contamination spreads fast straight into your $3 scoop of avocado dreams. And if you've ever received a bowl with dried rice stuck to the rim, or greasy fingerprints smeared across the lid, that's not bad luck. That's the result of employees being pushed to move fast, not clean. When the lunch rush hits, quality control hits the floor. One of the biggest health risks hiding in plain sight is the lettuce. Chipotle still uses raw, unbagged romaine. Unlike pre-washed packaged greens, this lettuce comes straight from the farm, which means it carries a higher risk of contamination if not properly handled. In 2018, nearly 700 people in multiple states got violently ill after eating at Chipotle locations linked to contaminated lettuce. That side salad didn't come with a vinaigrette. It came with regrets, and it doesn't stop there. Chipotle's food safety policy requires all cooked meat to be kept either piping hot above 140 degrees or chilled below 40. But former employees have admitted that those temperature checks were often rushed, faked, or skipped entirely, especially during understaffed shifts. So that barbacoa you're biting into? It might be spicy for more than one reason. Even the nutrition facts are sneakier than they look. People love to call Chipotle a healthy alternative, but many of their burritos cross 1,200 calories and pack more sodium than you should eat in a full day. One former manager once joked that the burritos were just wraps of denial and warned guests to order 2 tacos and a nap instead. So, if you're convincing yourself that Chipotle is clean eating, maybe double-check what's actually in that bowl. Because fresh doesn't always mean clean, and fast doesn't always mean careful. At the end of the day, Chipotle's sleek marketing and minimalist decor may keep the lines moving, but behind that counter, there's often chaos. High turnover, low training, inconsistent food handling, and a kitchen that sometimes runs on hope instead of hygiene. Every trip to Chipotle is a gamble. You might get a satisfying lunch, or you might find yourself playing burrito roulette, where the stakes are high, the guac is extra, and the consequences could be explosive. Coming in at number 5 is Subway, the chain that proudly claims to be fresh, healthy, and sandwich savvy. But once you peel back the wrapper, things start to smell a little less like freshness and a lot more like fiction. Let's talk about the tuna, or whatever it is they're calling tuna. This isn't just a meme. It became a full-blown national controversy. Independent lab tests in recent years found that some Subway tuna samples contained 0 detectable tuna DNA. That's like ordering peanut butter and jelly and getting a sandwich full of goo and confusion. One scientific review from 2021 couldn't identify any traceable fish at all. Just mystery mush. But it doesn't stop there. Former employees have shared disturbing stories about how meats are handled behind the scenes. Expiration stickers are often peeled off and replaced with fresh ones like some kind of deli-level identity fraud. One whistleblower even posted a photo of a tub of chicken with a warning label scratched out and a new date slapped over it. Customers aren't blind either. One opened their sandwich to find a translucent piece of chicken so rubbery and pale, it looked like a soggy napkin. Reviews called it elastic, spongy, and possibly intergalactic. And while you might think at least the vegetables are safe, think again. A viral image from a New Jersey store showed brown, wilting lettuce, moldy tomatoes, and cucumbers that looked like they'd been pulled from a mop bucket. Not exactly what you'd expect from a brand that markets itself as your healthy lunchtime escape. Health inspections across the country back this up. Reports of poor temperature control, pest activity, and food handling violations are disturbingly common. One inspector actually caught an employee wiping down a dirty counter, then using the same rag to clean the lettuce. That isn't just a health hazard, it's full-on salad sabotage. And then we get to the bread, the foundation of every sandwich. In Ireland, a court ruled that Subway's bread contains so much sugar, it legally doesn't qualify as bread anymore. Some of their sandwich rolls have more sugar per serving than donuts. So that 6-inch turkey sub you think is a healthy option? It's basically cake with lunch meat. Even how they toast the sandwiches has come under fire. One user shared a photo of their bread so unevenly toasted, it looked like it had fallen asleep halfway through a tanning session. And yet, despite all of this, Subway is still the most widespread fast food chain on the planet. Why? Not because the food is fresh, not because it's good, but because it's cheap, familiar, and absolutely everywhere. But let's be clear, cheap and familiar do not mean clean and safe. The next time you're reaching for that so-called $5 footlong, ask yourself what it might really cost because your dignity and digestive system could be paying the price. We've already torn off the cover on 5 of your favorite chains, and trust me, the 6th one is the most shocking reveal of all. McDonald's. You see it on every corner, drive by it every day. And who hasn't craved that golden arched comfort? But what's brewing behind those shiny signs isn't comfort food. It's closer to a fast food fairy tale with a nasty twist. That iconic ice cream machine that's always broken? It's more than a running joke. Former staff say it's because the cleaning process takes hours. Many simply skip it entirely. One worker put it plainly. It's either broken, faked broken, or growing its own ecosystem inside. Then there's that legendary consistency. Big Mac tastes the same everywhere, right? Not quite. Employees across regions have posted photos of burger patties stored too warm, cheese sweating under lights, and lettuce that looks frozen solid, then thawed back lifeless. One behind-the-scenes clip even showed buns stored next to a mop bucket. Sanitary? Far from it. Efficient? Sure. Appetite? Gone. Closing time doesn't help either. Night shift workers say deep cleaning is often rushed or skipped so they can clock out. One Florida worker revealed fries were scooped from oil unchanged for 3 days straight, with management's solution being out salt. The bitterness and hope no one notices. And when McDonald's boasts that it uses 100% beef, that doesn't guarantee quality. Patties are often low-grade, processed, flash-frozen, and mass-produced. Undercooked or overcooked? No problem. Just scrape the residue, reheat, and serve. Chicken nuggets fare no better. They often begin life as nugget slurry, a blended meat paste shaped, frozen, and packed like building blocks. Some former workers still refer to them as mystery cubes. One unlucky customer even bit into one that was hollow inside. Air could be the only healthy ingredient in some of their food. Inspection reports don't lie. Multiple locations face repeat citations, cross-contaminated surfaces, poor storage, employees touching raw beef then grabbing fries with unwashed hands. That is not value food. It's a value risk. The beverage dispensers aren't helping either. Technicians shared that behind the ginormous Coke screens, mold, syrup buildup, and sticky tubes lurk, worse than a forgotten college dorm fridge. That sweet tea might just be a bacteria smoothie. Ask any regular customer and they'll say McDonald's is fast, cheap, and always open. But that convenience comes at a cost. Employees are often overworked, underpaid, and taught to prioritize speed over hygiene. One crew member summed it up perfectly. Clean enough to pass, fast enough to profit. That is not the secret sauce you'd want in your quarter pounder. Taste? The fries might be world famous until they cool down. Then they turn limp, chewy, flavorless. Burgers often feel flat, dry, and far from juicy. One customer review put it simply, tastes like a memory of meat. The sauces do all the heavy lifting, and without them, the sandwich collapses like soggy cardboard. And don't even get me started on breakfast. McGriddle eggs are pre-cooked frozen discs. Pancakes come frozen too and hit a grill that might not have seen a proper clean in days. One employee said the syrup dispenses from industrial bags that leak and attract flies. That is not syrup. It is a violation cloaked in maple scent. And yet millions of people eat at McDonald's every single day. Not because it's high quality or healthy, but because it's available, predictable, and ingrained in our routines. Familiarity can lull us into not asking questions, and that's dangerous. Now let's take a moment to reflect. These 6 chains aren't evil. Not every meal results in regret, but they do share a dangerous pattern, prioritizing speed and marketing over real care, quality, and your safety. Remember, popular doesn't mean clean. Advertised doesn't always mean honest. Cheap doesn't mean you won't pay for your health, your trust, or your peace of mind. Eating out should be a treat, not a gamble. If something feels off, your instincts are usually right. Question the illusion. Maybe save that hunger for places that actually value your taste buds and your safety. Because at the end of the day, food should fuel you, not fool you. We aren't just exposing the truth behind the kitchen doors. We're helping you steer clear of the illusions. If you found this eye-opener worth chewing on, hit like, smash that subscribe button, and share it with anyone still believing frozen lasagna is fine dining. You are also invited to watch our video of the deadliest canned food that could be lingering in your own kitchen. Your Frugal Smart Hub is here for you to save you doctor visits and also saving secrets at Amazon, Walmart, Marshalls, or Sam's Club. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth isn't always on the menu.